Hi everyone, LarryRowe here. This week I'm going to be talking about being the recipient of bad news, specifically related to losing a job, getting canned, being fired, being laid off, whatever you want to call it. A number of years ago, I worked at night for a distribution center, and what we did there is we prepared customer orders to be delivered to them. Well, on this one specific night, our night supervisor came to us, to myself and about 20 of my coworkers, to schedule a meeting. And he was also going to bring a representative from Human Resources with him. So we already knew something was going on because one, we very rarely, if ever, had meetings at night, and two, they never brought Human Resources with them. So we already knew something was up. We just didn't know what it was. So the human resource representative came to us, and she used the indirect method to give us this bad news. She first softened the blow a little bit by telling us that the news that she was about to give us was by no means a reflection of the night shift at all, our performance that is, but rather a business decision. She went on to say that the company as a whole was not doing well financially, and they had to make some tough business decisions. One of those decisions being they were going to eliminate the entirety of the night shift. So that meant myself and 20 of my colleagues were getting let go. So, of course, it was hard news to digest at the moment because you weren't expecting it. I mean, granted, we didn't know it was going to be. We knew it wasn't going to be good news. We just weren't expecting it to be that bad. Well, so when I think back about how she communicated that message and how effective it was, I don't think that she could have done it any differently, because in a situation like that, when you're giving employees that kind of news, you don't want to leave the door open for any kind of ambiguity, meaning any type of hope that, maybe the other 18 employees are going to get fired, but us too will stay. So I appreciated that aspect of the message itself. Again, it wasn't easy to hear, but at least all of us knew exactly where we stood. And she went on to tell us that that it wasn't effective immediately, that we had 3 weeks before the night shift was going to cease operations. So in that regard, it gave all of us, at least a few weeks to get things going, to start thinking about other alternatives outside of that company. So that's kind of an example of how I one time received some bad news. And if any of you have been in the workforce long enough, I'm sure if you haven't experienced it yourself, you probably have friends or relatives that have gone through something similar. So, thanks everyone.